Now, if you're a beginner in Tai Chi, this video might be helpful. If you're an instructor in Tai Chi, this video might help you to understand why people find it difficult to start Tai Chi and to stick with it. So when people come to the classes, I often find that they don't even know what Tai Chi is. So they may know that it's healthy, or they've heard that it's healthy. They may have heard that it's slow way of exercising. They may even think it's really easy, but they don't know what it is. So let's start with that. Tai Chi is a martial art. Started off in the Chen village in around the 1800s, and then other styles have come off of that. So it wasn't originally called Tai Chi. It was called Chen Village Martial Arts. Tai Chi, the name, came later. Because people stopped fighting quite as much, then it became a lot easier to look at the health side. It became more important. The reason that Tai Chi is so good is because the way it was trained. So initially it might be trained fast, and slow. They would have done strength work. They would have practiced in weapons. They would have fought each other, but eventually they stopped, or weren't doing it quite as much. And so the health side became a lot more important. And so this slow way of training, which Tai Chi become very, very good at, of releasing tension and understanding the principles of Tai Chi, that's where the benefits come in. So we drop our weight, so we're weight bearing. This is very good for the muscles and the tendons and the bones. The movements are very complex. We have the midline crossing movements, which link the left and right side of the brain. So this is very good for the health, very good for the brain. It becomes meditative the more you get into it. So we're going to build strength, we're going to build flexibility, you're going to build bone density, you're going to start to meditate. So all of this comes from doing Tai Chi slowly. So that's a little bit of the history of Tai Chi. Now you can research it yourself, and you're probably best to. So the next thing is to understand what's going to happen when you come to a class. So you've got to understand that you're going to be learning a new way of moving and being. So this is really difficult. This is a really, really hard thing to do, because we're going to create new neural pathways. We're going to start to change the ways you've programmed your brain and body to move and react. And this is really, really difficult. As I said before, we've got the midline crossing motions, which people find difficult. It's very, very detailed, and everything is moving at the same time. So if you imagine that you're moving and you've got your foot moving, your hand moving, both hands moving, and your body moving, all in very specific, detailed ways, and trying to feel the structure and the shapes and release of tension, and where your mind is within these movements. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. But eventually, if you keep doing it, you become it. So initially, when you start, you're going to have to concentrate a lot, and you're going to have to think a lot. Now, some people struggle with this. They don't really want to. They want something easy. They think Tai Chi is slow, so it's got to be easy. You're just following along. That doesn't really happen. To get the most out of it, you have to think. You have to think your way through it. You have to concentrate on the movements and concentrate on what you're doing. It's about you, not about the instructor. So you're going to try and change your body and mind. And this takes a heck of a long time. And so you've got to really think of yourself being in it for the long haul. Now, to get the most out of your Tai Chi, you really want to be able to learn effectively. So this isn't just about copying, but you do have to copy. So that's the first thing we want to do. We want to copy the instructor. He will show you something. He'll show you how to move. Hopefully they'll explain it, not just copy. They'll explain the movement to you, and you have to look. And we're not good at looking. I had to train to look when I was an artist, and to really look, to see what's really there rather than what our brain is making up. So that's a skill in itself, but that's not where I'm going to go with this. All I want you to do is, when you first start, just look. Look at what they're really doing. Look at what their feet are doing, where they're positioned, how they move. Start with the feet first, because they tend to move first. Look what the waist is doing. Look what the hands are doing. And then once you've got that, and you start to practice it, you start to do it yourself, because you're going to look at yourself. Not only look at the instructor, you're going to look at yourself and look at, right, is everything in the right place? Again, from the previous one, this is where it gets hard, because you're having to focus on everything moving at the same time. It is difficult, but you will get through it. And then you have to analyze. Then you have to analyze your movements. Does it feel right? Is your structure right? Have you released? Are your hands and arms in the right place? Are you following the principles of Tai Chi as you're moving? All of these things to think about, but keep it simple to start. Just look at structure first. Is everything in the right place? And get the movement. That's it. That's all you have to worry about. Later on, you can look at releasing and analysing how it feels and this kind of thing. It becomes much easier once you get used to the movements. So get used to the movements first. Now, repeating it and keep repeating this is how we get good at anything. Persistence and consistency is the only way. So we've got to repeat. Now, I was once told by a physio that for a move to become a natural move, we have to repeat it 350,000 times. In martial arts, we say that don't be afraid of someone that knows 10,000 kicks, but someone that practices one kick 10,000 times. It's the repetition that makes you who you are. It's who you become. So that's why everything is done over time. So the next one, when people get into a proper class and they may be training, you know, they may be beginners and they're coming into a normal class where people may have been training for 20 years or even a few months. I've got people from a month, a few weeks to decades. And when they look at them, they think everyone else knows what they're doing. Everyone else is so good. And I think I'll never get there. That's not something I can do. This is too difficult. And this is really normal. Everyone feels the same way when they come in. In fact, if you ask the people that they're saying look really good, they have to turn around and go, oh no, I'm not good. They're good, but I'm not. They will point to other people. We all suffer from the same problem, that we don't look where we've come from. We look at where we think we are now. And we're never going to be where we want to be. Otherwise, you'd stop training. So you never get to where you want to be. That's not how life works. You know, we keep learning in life until we get to the end. We don't stop. It's just consistent and continuous learning and changing and evolving. That's Tai Chi. It does that. It evolves with you. So don't come into a class and think, oh no, everyone's really good. I don't know what I'm doing. This is really embarrassing. Don't. Everyone starts in the same place. Everyone. Absolutely everyone starts in the same place. And it is really difficult to start with. So you've got to look at learning Tai Chi as climbing a mountain. That you start at the bottom, and when you look up, the mountain is massive. It looks like you're never gonna get there, but you've got to start. You've got to start at the bottom, and it may be really steep, and you've got to climb, and it will be really hard. And you'll get worn out, and you might get to a plateau. And this usually happens. But you might climb to the first plateau, you think, oh, thank God I've got there. And the mountain goes on and on and on, and you're sitting on this plateau thinking, I've got to carry on. Or not, you can go back down. And then you just end up where you were before. And now climbing up the next plateau is really hard to the next plateau. But it might take a long time to get there. And you've got to understand, this is how we learn. But we don't learn in a straight line. We learn with ups and downs. And so you might have one good week and a really bad week. And a few bad weeks and maybe some good weeks and then a bad week. And you'll go up and down. But if you keep going, you're continuously going upwards rather than staying where you are or downwards, which is what would usually happen. But you'll always get to these plateaus where you feel like you're getting nowhere because you can't get to that next plateau. But the only way you get there is by keeping going, keeping trying to climb, find your way. So this next one is where everyone quits because everyone gets frustrated. They get frustrated thinking that they're not getting it, that they're not getting where they want to be. They're not getting it quick enough. And again, this is quite normal. It takes time. The problem with us in our modern world, we want it now. We want it right now. And if we don't have it now, we think, oh, then I'm not doing it right. I'm going to quit. It gets hard. So you've got to be motivated in your reason for doing it. And you've got to keep doing it because by doing the Tai Chi, you're getting the benefits. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it right to start with, you're starting to get the benefits. We get the benefits over time. But even one class, you're going to benefit from it. The benefits from the relaxation, from the brain working, from using your muscles, it's going to last you. And if you do it every day, it will build quicker. The more you do it, the more it builds. And it stays with you. The strength, the flexibility, the density of the bones, your mind being calmer, it all stays with you. If you practice Tai Chi, that's all you want to do. It's not about getting somewhere. That's what we need to understand. But Tai Chi will evolve with you, and it will change with you. You need to look back at where you started. Even if you write down where you were at the start of the year, go, right, look how far you've come. Because the problem is, if you stop, you don't just stay where you are. You don't just stay who you are. And remember, you started Tai Chi to change who you were. You don't just stay who you were. Over the years, we get worse. We get weaker if we don't use our muscles and our strength. We get less flexible. Our brain deteriorates. Our nerve endings deteriorate. Our balance goes. All of this stuff if you stop or you don't do it. So don't get frustrated. So very quickly, what we're going to go over are how you want to train when you're doing Tai Chi. Number one, you need to copy. You need to look at the instructor and you need to copy what they're doing. And then you need to repeat it. Repeat it over and over and over. Master Lou said to me he liked how I trained because he'd showed me something and I'd just go off and repeat it. Now I'd repeat it in the class, I'd repeat it when I got home, I'd repeat it in the morning, I'd repeat it anytime, any chance that I had. Even if it wasn't done properly, I might be standing there waiting for something and I'd practice a move. Then you want to analyze. Analyze what you're doing. Look at yourself. Are you doing it the way the instructor did it? Again, when you analyze, look at the feet, look at the hips, look at the hands. Is everything in the right place? Then adjust. Adjust what you're doing. Adjust yourself. It's no good doing the moves and then you go through the moves and then you just forget about it. You need to do the looking and adjusting. So you might do the move, you look at it, you go, right, is everything in the right place? You adjust it, and then you do the move again. Then you adjust, you look, you analyze, release, and you repeat that until it becomes you. So that's it. Repeat, analyze, adjust. Repeat, analyze, adjust. That's what you do to learn Tai Chi. Then I would say immerse yourself. Particularly in the first 100 days, really get into it. Watch videos on Tai Chi, watch other people train, see what other people have to say about Tai Chi. Immerse yourself. Try and understand why we do Tai Chi and the benefits of it, and you'll get the most out of it. It will keep your brain in with what you're doing. And so when we are learning Tai Chi, what we want to do, first thing you do, even in standing posture, is look. This is the simplest way to do it. Go to your standing posture, go, right, is my structure right? Once you've got the shapes right and the positions, check your structure. Does everything feel right? From your feet to your knees, to your hips, all the way up. Does everything feel right? Is it in the right place? Then release. Focus on releasing. And if you can do that, get your structure and then focus on releasing, you'll start to develop your Tai Chi.